This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Tuesday, the 19th day of May in the year 2020. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here is what we're tracking tonight. Guyana has recorded one new case of the coronavirus from a total of 51 tests completed in the past 24 hours. The country has also recorded one additional recovery, taking the total number of recoveries up to 46. There are now 69 active cases of the coronavirus in Guyana. In today's update, Director of Primary Healthcare Services at the Ministry of Public Health, Dr. Hortensio Hamilton, said there is still worry that the numbers are climbing, even when the increase is by one.
As of the 18th of May 2020, of the 51 tests done, one was positive. The total number of persons tested to date is 1,269, with the total number of negative cases being 1,144. We currently have 46 persons that have recovered. Recovered cases refer to persons who were affected with the disease and who now have been cleared, with 2 negative results 24 hours apart and no signs and symptoms of the virus. These individuals can no longer infect others. However, they can be reinfected if they do not take precautions. There are 69 active cases in institutional isolation, 3 patients in the COVID-19 ICU, and the number of COVID deaths remains at 10.
Dr. Hamilton once again called on citizens to take the necessary precautions and take the virus seriously. She said they should follow all of the health guidelines to ensure a flattening of the curve.
Unless we change our behaviors, not only will our numbers increase, but our return to normalcy, our fellowship, our social gathering, our hanging on the seawall will be unnecessarily long and stressful.
Meanwhile, the National Blood Transfusion Service is reminding citizens that it is still safe to give blood, especially during this time. Medical technologist Natalie Prasad said there is a critical need for blood at the National Blood Bank.
The National Blood Transfusion Service faces a critical situation where a multitude of our blood drives are being cancelled as organizations and businesses temporarily close or have staff on scheduled rotation. It is important to emphasize that the need for blood remains essential during the pandemic, as countless patients across the nation will continue to rely on blood donors to help provide a life-saving component for sickle cell patients, thalassemia patients, and patients who require major surgeries, and high-risk pregnant mothers.
Ms. Prasad said measures are in place at the blood bank to ensure the safety of blood donors. She said donations are needed at the public hospitals all across the country. More news coming up in a moment.
We all want to stay in touch, right? Now, even more than ever before. So to keep your connection strong, GTT is going 2 for 2. Combine GTT mobile and home internet services and we'll give you 2 gigs of free mobile data each month. With 2 GTT services, you're fully connected at home and on the go. Visit us online at gtt.co.gy/2for2 to learn more and start doing more with 2 for 2 from GTT. Stay safe, stay strong, Guyana. We're in this together.
GBTI is your Guyanese bank, a bank that understands every customer's unique needs, opportunities, challenges, and financial concerns. At GBTI, we see you for you. Whether you're buying a new home or car, planning your next vacation or retirement, saving for your child's future, or whether you're ready to take that bold step of investing in your dream business idea, we are with you every step of the way. We hear your stories and watch you focus on your dreams as we share your aspirations. We are more than just banking. We are a family. We are part of your community. Our commitment extends way beyond the walls of our branches and is demonstrated every day in the opportunities we provide to our individual and business customers. The support, time, and commitment we give back to communities across Guyana to help improve the lives of our Guyanese families. Because we see Guyana through your eyes. Parents and guardians, you are encouraged to tune in to the Guyana Learning Channel, Cable 29 or Channel 42 for daily educational and interactive learning sessions. The nursery program airs from 6 hours to 9 hours. Primary programs from 9 hours to 12 noon. We also air informative documentaries from 12 noon to 13 hours, and our secondary level programs are aired from 13 hours to 15 hours. Please continue to listen to our radio broadcasts. The interactive radio instruction for grades 1 to 3 daily on Voice of Guyana from 9 hours 30 to 10 hours for grade 1 pupils, from 10 hours 30 to 11 hours for grade 2s, and 13 hours to 13 hours 30 for grade 3 pupils. Please remember to tune in to benefit from these educational opportunities. A message from the Ministry of Education.
The following is an important message from the Ministry of Public Health. You can prevent the spread of the COVID-19 virus. If you have the following symptoms: coughing, fever, or difficulty breathing, please stay home. If you don't have these symptoms, then practice social distancing. Avoid crowds. When in a group, keep a distance of at least 3 feet between yourself and other persons. Please wash your hands with soap regularly or use hand sanitizers. The Ministry of Public Health has a hotline to provide information on the coronavirus. Members of the public can call 227-4986 or 624-3067.
Welcome back. Well, the Ministry of Public Health today received a donation of 30,000 face masks and 1,536 coronavirus testing kits from the Alibaba Foundation in the People's Republic of China. The contribution is expected to boost local efforts to protect frontline response to COVID-19 while ensuring that more persons are tested for the disease. Receiving the donation on behalf of the Ministry of Public Health was the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Shamdio Prasad.
Guyana has so far identified 124 positive cases. We have tested more than 1,200 persons, and I would like to indicate that sometimes persons are tested multiple times. We have people tested sometimes 6 times during the course of their diagnosis and treatment. So test kits are vital. Of course, we know the frontline response to COVID-19 has always been to provide adequate protection for everyone who comes in contact with possible cases, and that's where the masks are so vital in providing continuous high-quality services throughout the health system.
And the Deputy Chief of Missions of the Chinese Embassy in Guyana, Shen Jilai, said the donation represents the concern and support of the people of China for the local health sector.
Today, I'm glad to hand over 1,536 testing kits and 30,000 medical masks donated by Alibaba Foundation to the government of Guyana. This is a friendly gesture from Alibaba, a popular e-commerce company in China. It is a good example of Chinese companies shouldering social responsibility, and also a demonstration of Chinese caring about Guyanese.
This is the second contribution towards the fight against the coronavirus in Guyana from the People's Republic of China. The first comprised of face masks, protective gear, and other pieces of equipment. And the Civil Defense Commission this afternoon received a donation of several items from the government of the United States and the U.S. military. The donation, which consisted of sanitization, personal care, and hygiene items, as well as baby supplies, totaled approximately $3 million Guyana dollars. During a simple handover ceremony, the Director General of the CDC, Lieutenant Colonel Kester Craig, thanked the U.S. Ambassador Sarah Ann Lynch for the timely donation. The ambassador, in an invited comment, expressed satisfaction to be part of the exercise.
I'm here on behalf of the U.S. government and the U.S. military to make this donation to the CDC here in Guyana, which does fantastic work. I'm here with Colonel Craig today to make this donation of mostly non-food items, but these are things that the vulnerable communities in Guyana really need at this time of the COVID-19 virus. And as you know, the virus doesn't see borders and it doesn't see different peoples, and we always want to do our best for the people of Guyana. And as people are saying now, we're all in this together. So we certainly need to be helping one another right now. So we're just thrilled to be a part of this donation.
Several agencies and private entities have been supporting the Civil Defense Commission in its efforts to fight the coronavirus locally and offer support. Well, one day after the National COVID-19 Task Force granted approval for over 100 Guyanese nationals stranded abroad to return home, the General Secretary of the PPP, Barrett Jagdeo, said he wants to see similar approval granted to the Carter Center to be allowed into Guyana to observe the ongoing vote recount. President David Granger has defended his government's decision not to grant approval for representatives from the Carter Center and the International Republican Institute to be allowed to fly into Guyana because of the ongoing national measures to fight the coronavirus and the closure of the airports. The Carter Center is an accredited observer group for the elections, while the IRI provided advice to the Elections Commission on voter education. During a press briefing this morning, Mr. Jagdeo said the government may now be hard-pressed to continue defending the decision not to grant approval for the return of the Carter Center.
So now that just yesterday, they agreed to 100 persons coming in, flying into Ghana, he would have a very difficult time now justifying why they can't allow 4 international observers who are prepared to take the tests and follow the same protocol like the CARICOM team did, and the same protocol that many of those who are coming home will follow.
Mr. Jagdeo said the president has now owned the issue and has defended it, and therefore he will need to explain the difference.
So he is going to be in a serious bind now to explain this, because he has owned the issue. He has come out to defend it, and it was at his instance that the letter was written rejecting them.
The PPP General Secretary said he intends to inform the international community on the government's decision to allow stranded Guyanese nationals to come home while keeping the Carter Center and the IRI group out. He also noted that 2 letters were sent to the president last week requesting the Carter Center's return, and those letters came from 2 groups of U.S. congressmen and senators who, according to Jagdeo, have great influence over the executive arm of the U.S. government.
Now, clearly, the duplicity of the government's position on this matter will wend its way up to Washington. And in fact, we will point this out to the international community, that on one hand, you're saying we are concerned about the safety of Guyana, and then on the other hand, and we can't allow 4 persons to come in and then allowing hundreds of others to come into the country. So clearly there is a political motive in spite of him not saying so.
Guyana's Foreign Affairs Minister responded to those 2 letters last week, informing the senators and the congressmen of the government's position and requesting that they respect the government of Guyana's decision to safeguard its people from disease. On Sunday, the president said he has all confidence in the CARICOM high-level team that is scrutinizing the vote recount.
I'm very confident in CARICOM's ability and integrity. And I'd just like to repeat what the ambassador of Barbados to Washington said, that CARICOM is the most legitimate interlocutor on the Guyana situation. I'm inspired by that remark, and I share the sentiment that CARICOM is the most legitimate interlocutor on the Guyana situation.
The ongoing vote recount is being observed by representatives of the Organization of American States, the European Union, the American Chamber of Commerce in Guyana, the Private Sector Commission, and the American, British, and Canadian diplomatic missions in Guyana. The CARICOM high-level team is scrutinizing the entire process, and its role forms part of the gazetted order for the recount. Still in the world of politics, in a letter to the chairperson of the Guyana Elections Commission, the People's Progressive Party is requesting that she reveals discussions that the president had when he met with GCOM officials and the CARICOM high-level team during his visit to the Recount Center on Sunday. According to the PPP, since the president has declined to make known the discussions, it believes the chairperson should inform the commissioners and the political parties on the nature of the discussions. The PPP said the president was offered the extraordinary privilege and preferential treatment of meeting the CARICOM high-level team and GCOM officials, and that must now be accorded to all presidential candidates. At a press conference just after his visit to the recount site and the brief meetings with the GCOM officials and the CARICOM team, President Granger said there were issues that were raised with him during the visit, but he would prefer for the chairperson and the commissioners of the Elections Commission to deliberate on those issues that will have to result in decisions that will have to be made by the commission. News source understands that the CARICOM team has raised some concern about the timeline for the recount and the length of the extension that will have to be put in place. The Elections Commission has not given a clear indication of the length of the possible extension. On Monday, the Public Relations Officer of GCOM, Yolanda Ward, said during the meetings with the President, he expressed his gratefulness for the process of the recount and also noted his expectations that the process will be concluded in an expeditious manner. On the education front, Education Minister Nicolette Henry has announced that the National Grade 6 assessment exams are expected to be held within the next 2 months. According to a statement from the Department of Public Information, the minister explained that ample time will be given to parents and students to prepare for the exams. She has urged parents to work along with their children during this prolonged time off from school because of coronavirus concerns. Additionally, the minister said that in light of the curfew and other measures put in place by the government, schools will not reopen before the 3rd of June. Minister Henry noted that her office recognizes the importance of the common entrance examinations and is working to ensure that no child is disenfranchised. The NGSA was originally set for April 8 and 9, but was postponed amid concerns about the coronavirus. The Education Ministry has said it will be providing continued academic learning online via social media platforms, along with more traditional media such as television and radio to assist the common entrance children. Let's tell you now that the Ethnic Relations Commission has announced the start of a probe into a video that was posted on Facebook of a woman making racially insensitive remarks towards another ethnicity. The Commission in a statement this morning said it is particularly concerned that the post can contribute to unnecessary tension rising in the society. In the video that was posted over the weekend and shared hundreds of times, the hammock-swinging woman fired off several expletives and racially charged comments against Afro-Guyanese, describing them by several derogatory names. The ERC's investigative unit is likely to reach out to the woman and question her about her statements. The Ethnic Relations Commission said it is also looking into a recent incident at a Kissoon's furniture store involving alleged racial profiling of a customer. The customer, who was a newspaper columnist, recently penned her experience of being allegedly racially profiled while shopping at the store. The store has since responded to the woman's letters, pointing out that its policy stands against any form of racial profiling. The Ethnic Relations Commission in its statement today said citizens should desist entirely from making racially motivated remarks which can incite others. It reminded that persons can be prosecuted for offenses under the Racial Hostility and Representation of the People's Acts, as well as the country's cybercrime laws. The ERC said it continues to monitor Facebook and the various social media platforms and is pleading to all Guyanese to exercise tolerance and respect for each other throughout their daily lives. Across the Region is coming up next.
Wondering how you can access free learning materials for your children? Parents and guardians, please visit the Ministry of Education's website at www.education.gov.gy to access textbooks, past papers, and practice tests to keep your child engaged in continuous learning. When you have accessed the site, go to the Students tab, wait for a second, and choose the appropriate option. You now have access to the resources you need. You are encouraged to take advantage of this opportunity as we strive to provide the best education for the nation's children. A message from the Ministry of Education.
They've made a positive impact on the heavy-duty transportation industry in Guyana since they've arrived. Guyanese are amazed at their power, durability, efficiency, and superior handling capabilities. These are brand new trucks, manufactured in partnership with German, Italian, and French companies. They have a powerful reputation for operating under very adverse Guyanese conditions and come with full after-sales service and spare parts. They're the most sought-after trucks today, with over 500 units in Guyana, and they're available in over 100 countries, including South America and the Caribbean. Be smart. Buy brand new ST Hoho Trucks today. Call 608-4998 and arrange for an inspection at ST Truck Guyana Incorporated, Block B, Public Road, Covenant, East Bank, Demerara.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right. Walk in upright ways. Knowing that's what being a man is all about, and ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong, be the one to live right.
Falls, a trademark of China's Zhanghao Incorporated, located at Land of Cane in East Bank, Demerara, was incorporated in April of 2013, with over $10 billion Guyana dollars invested in a state-of-the-art 100,000 barrel fuel storage facility, a modern service station, an office complex, and a modern wharf that can berth international vessels. Having no association with any other fuel company, Falls imports its own fuel, which meets quality specifications, has all the legal permits, and is in compliance with international requirements. Its bulk facility can load 8 trucks simultaneously at a rate of 1,000 liters per minute, while the service station can service 12 cars at a time using computerized fuel pumps, which can facilitate the use of ATM cards. Through its professional team of mostly Guyanese, Falls wholesales and retails fuels to the public, including farmers and miners, and will continue to positively contribute to Guyana by providing quality products, service, and attractive prices. Try Falls today for all your fuel needs.
Are you washing your hands correctly? Here are some tips on when and how to wash your hands. Step 1. Wet your hands with clean water. Step 2. Then apply soap. Step 3. For 10 to 15 seconds, lather your palms together. Always remember to pay attention to your fingers, especially your nails and tips. And don't forget the back and between of your fingers. Step 4. Rinse hands with clean water for about 20 seconds. Step 5. Dry hands with a clean paper towel or tissue.
But when should you wash your hands? After using the toilet, before and after eating, preparing or handling uncooked food, after playing with pets or caring for animals, after sneezing and coughing or blowing your nose, before and after changing babies or caring for others.
Frequent hand washing or using a hand sanitizer with alcohol as an alternative will remove viruses and bacteria from your hands.
A message from the Ministry of Public Health in collaboration with PAHO WHO.
Across the region right now, Prime Minister of St. Kitts Nevis, Dr. Timothy Harris, has named the 5th of June as the date for fresh general elections in St. Kitts Nevis. In a radio and televised broadcast on Monday, Mr. Harris said nomination day will be the 27th of May. The coalition will face a challenge from the main opposition, St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party, headed by former Prime Minister Dr. Denzel Douglas. In the last election, Team Unity, which brought together 3 political parties, won 7 of the 11 seats. However, this one will be conducted in a different environment, heavily impacted by the coronavirus. The nightly curfew and weekend lockdown will remain in place, and some traditional means of communicating will have to be modified. There will also be virtual public meetings, and Harris said the supervisor of elections would speak on the safety measures that will be put in place. The Prime Minister has been touting his government's handling of the coronavirus, noting that of the 15 cases, 14 had recovered, no one was hospitalized, and there were no deaths. The Barbados-based Caribbean Development Bank has announced that it is making available almost $67 million in emergency loans to 7 Caribbean countries, in the first instance to finance the response to the coronavirus pandemic. The bank's board of directors approved $66.7 million for Antigua and Barbuda, Belize, Dominica, Grenada, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Suriname. The emergency loans made on the CDB's most concessional terms will provide vital liquidity and increase government's fiscal space policies to allow the countries to promptly meet their urgent financial needs without diverting resources away from critical social expenditures or health emergency needs. And finally tonight, international news. U.S. President Donald Trump has sent a letter to the head of the World Health Organization threatening to pull U.S. funding permanently over COVID-19. The letter outlines a 30-day deadline for the body to commit to substantive improvements or risk losing millions and U.S. membership altogether. Addressed to the WHO chief, it criticizes stages of the body's response since December. Earlier on Monday, Mr. Trump called the UN's health body a puppet of China. The U.S. president, who faces re-election this year and has himself been criticized for his handling of the pandemic, has blamed China for trying to cover up the outbreak and has accused the WHO of failing to hold Beijing to account. The Chinese Foreign Ministry has said that Mr. Trump was trying to mislead the public, smear China, and shift the blame for the US' own incompetent response to the coronavirus. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting.